We've come a long way, baby.
Welcome to Lucia's Vegan Lifestyle, your show for compassionate living without sacrifice. On this episode, we're cooking Italian. I will show you how to make a vegan Bolognese using an ancient food that is a vegan staple, but which many people seem to find a bit mysterious. I'll share some tips on what I do to alleviate PMS or PMDD symptoms, LVL style. And I'm joined by the creator and one of the judges of Peeled to talk about their new fully vegan cooking competition show right here on Lucia's Vegan Lifestyle. You ask and Lucia's Vegan Lifestyle delivers. So many of you send in requests for me to cook Italian, and you've seen a lot of original veganized and inherently vegan Italian dishes on this show and across platforms where Lucia's Vegan Lifestyle is featured. Now, I'm adding another one to the list in time for the cooling weather to keep us deliciously and nutritiously warm and fed. Join me in my kitchen to make pasta bolognese, a hearty, meaty dish made LVL style. One of the main ingredients is tofu, which seems many people think is some newfangled vegan invention to enrage those who eat animals. Truth is, tofu has been around for centuries. It is loaded with protein and other nutrients, comes in many different forms and consistencies, and is highly versatile. I'll also be using another meat that might surprise you. Let's go to my kitchen and make a vegan pasta bolognese. I'm going to show you how to make ragù alla bolognese. The ingredients are familiar, accessible, and it's very easy to make. Let's get started. You will need 1 block firm tofu, drained and crumbled. I have some fresh from my local family-owned tofu shop in Chinatown. 1 cup chopped walnuts, soaked overnight or blanched a few minutes in boiling water. This is the surprise meat I mentioned. Walnuts are a great meat for this kind of recipe, for stuffed peppers, chile sin carne, raw vegan recipes. It is a great meat. 1 packet tempeh bacon, baked for 5 minutes at 450 degrees Fahrenheit. 1 carrot, 1 celery stalk, and 1 small onion, each finely diced. 1 cup tomato puree. I'm using Papa Chef's, my dad's homemade. 1 cup white or red vegan wine. I'm using my dad's homemade wine, which is always vegan. 2 sprigs rosemary. 1 cup plant milk. I'm using unsweetened, unflavored almond milk. 2 tablespoons olive oil. 2 tablespoons plant butter. Salt and pepper to taste. And 1 crushed peperoncino. I'm adding a little peperoncino in honor of my Calabrian roots. I like a little heat, and this hearty recipe lends itself very well. You can omit it if you're not spicy like me. First, we'll make the soffritto. Heat the olive oil and butter in a deep pot over a low flame. Add the carrot, celery, and onion, and stir frequently until the onions start to become transparent. Toss in the tempeh bacon and stir for a few minutes, allowing the flavors to combine. Add the crumbled tofu and raise the heat to brown it, stirring continuously and separating the pieces as you go along. Salt and pepper to taste. Add the walnuts and stir to combine. Pour in the wine and let it evaporate until you no longer detect the scent of alcohol. Add the milk and let it absorb over medium heat, stirring occasionally. salt and pepper to taste. Pour in the tomato puree and stir to combine. Salt and pepper to taste, and give it a nice stir. Add the rosemary sprigs and peperoncino and stir again. Bring it to a boil and cover loosely. Simmer for 2 hours and eccoci, our beautiful, thick Ragù alla Bolognese. Remove the rosemary sprigs. Serve it with your favorite pasta. I'm using gluten-free linguine. And enjoy. Pasta alla Bolognese, LVL style. Out of this world.
Buonissima. Buon appetito.
I hope you enjoyed this recipe. If you make it, be sure to tag Lucia's Vegan Lifestyle and I'll give you a shout out. PMS, PMDD, 2 acronyms that stigmatize people with uteruses and conditions from which it is difficult to find respite. When I ate dairy as a vegetarian, I would writhe in pain from cramps. Once I finally went vegan, the pain subsided, but I still experienced discomforts like slight cramps, bloating, ravenous hunger, and cravings. So here's some of what I do to alleviate the symptoms.
These are just a few of the things I do to prevent and alleviate PMS symptoms. Number 1 is water. Literally vital to our bodies. We need water even more than food. It carries oxygen and nutrients to our cells, flushes bacteria and toxins, aids digestion, prevents constipation, normalizes blood pressure, cushions our joints, protects our organs and tissues, and regulates body temperature. Keeping hydrated reduces headaches, fatigue, and cramps. And contrary to what we might think, drinking at least 9 to 10 glasses of water a day during your period helps fight bloating. Distilled is always best, but I keep a glass near my sink and down one every time I'm in the area, every day. If away from my sink, I take it with me. Also, keep your liver clean. I often crave a glass of red wine the day before my period is due, and sometimes I have one. Vegan wine, of course. If you don't know about vegan versus non-vegan wines, watch earlier episodes of Lucia's Vegan Lifestyle and find out all about it. However, there are varying studies on the effects of wine on hormone levels, and it is very important to keep hydrated and keep the liver clean. So water is always your best bet. Top of the list for supplements is vegan calcium magnesium. Deficiency in magnesium has shown increased PMS symptoms, and calcium is essential for its absorption beyond its own benefits as a PMS remedy. Vitamin D is also very important as it is needed for the uptake of calcium and magnesium. This is the one nutrient that I've been lacking twice in my entire life since going veg at age 12. Both times when I wasn't getting sufficient sunlight as a source. So I am taking my vitamin D. Foods that are great during PMS and regularly to help prevent symptoms and for general health are whole grains like quinoa, brown rice, teff, and oats, proteins like beans, peas, lentils, nuts and seeds, and foods with phytoestrogens like tofu, fresh fruits like apples, vegetables like fennel and celery, and herbs such as parsley, which you can add to juices, cooked foods, and more. For more tips on alleviating PMS LVL style, watch and shop the Lucia's Vegan Lifestyle Amazon Live and Amazon Storefront. Click on the links in this episode description below to purchase some items directly.
As always, these tips are Lucia's vegan lifestyle, so be sure to consult with your healthcare professional before adapting any of these to your vegan lifestyle. Lucia's Vegan Lifestyle is excited to be joined by my guests, whose new show is the first of its kind in the US. Peeled is the cooking competition show that is fully vegan. My guests are star Simmons, creator of VKind app and of Peeled, and Chef Chris Tucker, who is one of the show's judges. Star is an accomplished entrepreneur with more than 25 years of experience in finance, sales, marketing, and publishing, who recognize the need for business resources to help vegan entrepreneurs connect with more vegan consumers and gain greater exposure in the growing veg economy. So she created VKind and now Peeled. Chef Chris was himself a contestant on the Great American Baking Show and has appeared on Inside Edition, California Live, On the Red Carpet, and countless live segments demoing his plant-based recipes, besides being featured in Cosmopolitan magazine. He provided the vegan desserts for Elton John's Oscar Party AIDS benefit, as well as for Steven Tyler's Grammy Party fundraiser for Janie's Fund. Welcome, Star and Chris. Let's get peeled.
Thank you. We're excited to be here.
So happy to have you both. So we'll start with a vegan question. You're both vegan. You have to be, because it's a prerequisite for Peeled. So Star, you've been vegan for some time now. What compelled you to go vegan?
I went vegetarian in 1998, and then I went fully vegan 6 years ago. I've always rescued cats and dogs when I was a child, and just always very connected to animals. But I had a friend that was vegetarian at the time that help make the full connection between all animals. And after that happened, there was never a point that I ever would want to go back to eating meat or dairy.
Yeah, great. I love it. And Chris, you went vegan after appearing as a contestant on the cooking competition, the Great American Baking Show, if I'm correct. What did it for you? What made you go vegan?
Yeah, so when I was on the Bake Off, I was still, pretty much vegetarian at that point. So my trajectory to getting to veganism was started with weight loss. I was very overweight as a young kid. And so when it clicked to me that I wasn't in that proper weight category for somebody who was in 7th, 8th grade, I right away cut out all red meat and pork and started eating really pescatarian. It wasn't until later in life that I realized, well, our oceans are just as bad as eating from, and the fish are just as bad for you as eating meat and dairy. So it's been about 4 years now that I've been fully vegan, and just like Star, I couldn't go back.
It's really amazing. All right, so let's get to this exciting news. Peeled, as we mentioned, is the first fully vegan cooking competition show in the US. There's one in Brazil, I believe, and now there's Tabitha Brown's show, which is amazing, but while plant-based, it's not categorically vegan. What distinguishes Peeled?
It was so important in doing Peeled, one, because I've been a huge lover of vegan cooking cooking competitions, obviously not vegan ones. And what I wanted to do with the show is actually highlight the lifestyle as well. So yes, there's the vegan food, but as you know, veganism is not a diet, it's really a lifestyle.
Exactly.
And by bringing an entire vegan cast to the platform, I felt that was the best way to actually get that messaging across. And that's exactly what happened. I even get goosebumps talking about it. Being on set was magic. And it was so great to hear from people like Chris, who's been on sets before, talk about, I don't have to worry about the food. It's all vegan. Our makeup and hairstylist was vegan. Like every single aspect that we could bring into the show to make it better is what our focus was.
I love it. I've seen this meme going around on social media somebody's, I don't know who originated it, but it's pretty clever and a very poignant point that when you read at the end of a film, no animals were harmed in the making of this film, you should ask catering. I don't know if you guys know, but I've been an actress and filmmaker for a long time, since way before this Lucia's Vegan Lifestyle, this show. And every time I go on set as an actor, you know, as a filmmaker for my own films, you know, I have control, so I do it all vegan. But as an actor, I always have to ask all the questions to wardrobe. Do you mind not making me wear animal leather shoes? Can you find synthetic or, you know, a vegan textile? To makeup, can you please use vegan makeup, or can I bring my own? And people have been really amazing. Catering has always been great for the most part, you know, because whatever, an actor, salads, right? If we have a salad, we're fine. But, you know, usually on the productions I've had the fortune to be on, the catering has been good, but it's all the other things for me as well. So when I saw that you were launching Peeled and you were saying that it was a fully vegan studio, I was so grateful to you and so excited because, you know, even in let's say Hollywood or like film production, film and TV production, that's not vegan, they're trying to have more green sets or sustainable sets. So to know that you're setting this precedent that we can have vegan sets makes it's game changing.
Thank you for that. I just want to add one thing when you're talking about the meme. On some of our original trailers that we put out at the very end, our motto is no plants felt pain in the making of this video. So we kind of took a twist on it.
To that question that they always, don't plants feel pain? So I'm glad that you included that. You mentioned being a fan of cooking shows, which I personally cannot watch because, you know, it's visceral to me. So when I see, even though I'm like, oh, I could recreate that on, you know, I can veganize that, I just can't bear to watch animal flesh being cooked. So what compelled you to create Peeled?
You know, one of the things I was really drawn to last year when I watched Hell's Kitchen was Chef Josie, that ended up coming in as my co-creator. She's amazing, and she was the first vegan to participate on Hell's Kitchen. And there's a few other shows that I watched and studied, and to your point, would fast forward through the areas of the meat. I just can't do it anymore. I'm an extreme empath, and it just really you know, makes me feel deeply depressed. But there were some of the chefs that actually were either vegetarian or on that path to being vegan, and they were being asked to cook a live urchin, a live lobster, and one of them was bawling their eyes out, like, okay, I'm gonna be strong and I'm gonna do it, because she felt she didn't have a choice. And it just broke my heart. I was like, there has to be a place for us to show that you don't have to do that. You know, we can make lobster too, but we're just gonna do it out of mushrooms. That's really my deep passion for it, was just the love of learning new things, watching a cooking show, but without the cruelty attached.
Right, yeah. So we mentioned briefly veg economy. Can you tell us what that's all about and how it figures into Peeled and V-Kind and everything you're doing?
I like to say veg economy is the building block for the future. It's certainly the building block for our company, V-Kind. When we established it and trademarked it, was that our goal is to remove all animals from the supply chain. We believe that's a sustainable future, one that can be prosperous for all of humanity, all of our animal kind and the planet. So just all wrapped in one. And so that is a major focus of ours, which is why we want to create really unique content to put out to help educate and to bring people in so that they understand, listen, this lifestyle is life-changing for all of us, and we all can make a difference. Because I'm sure you heard it, oh, I'm just one person, I can't make a difference. Well, we all know that that's not true, because when we come together, it's a ripple effect, which is what we believe. And so V-Kind, based on the foundation of the veg economy, is also a platform that is moving into a heavily more travel app that we're launching, a brand new app. On top of producing a show, we also redid our entire website and our new app. It's not out yet. I will be honest, we've been very behind with other things, but we hope to have it launched by the time the premiere happens. It has a social media feed, so it'll be, you know, this incredible place for non-vegans to come in and feel like, okay, I can ask questions, there's no judgment. We're gonna have an entire chef channel that will tie along with that, and I'm gonna keep quiet about it now because it's in the building stages. But it's really an amazing app with over 3,500 vegan companies in the US. We're in Canada now. And it's wonderful when you're traveling in particular and you go into a different state and you go, well, I just want to support vegan companies. I don't, you know, this is what I want to do. And that's available to them.
Wow. So Chris, yeah, you've had experience as a contestant. How does this inform, how was that for you? And then how does this inform you being a judge on Peeled?
Being a contestant on anything is nerve-wracking. Like whether it's playing a game or you're cooking something, just knowing that the cameras are there and you're having to produce a product, it's, you know, it sometimes can just get the better of you. So, you know, it was definitely nerve-wracking for me as well, being a contestant, but I translated that energy in being a judge on Peeled by just telling the truth and being really honest with the contestants, because that's what I expected when I was a contestant. I just wanted honest feedback from the judges when I was on the Bake Off, because I wanted it to be a growing experience. I wanted to leave there a better baker. And so that's what I wanted for our contestants. I wanted them to leave our studio kitchen being better chefs. I wanted them to grow from this experience and realize that after they competed on Peeled, they were able to do really big things, right? Like they came on and they competed, and whether they won or lost, they did their best. And hopefully their takeaway from that was that they're able to go out into the world and just do really big things. We gave our honest feedback and critiques, so the people left feeling like they could make the same dish again, but elevate it and make it better. So I won't say that it's just all roses, because remember, as vegans, like, yes, we are supposed to be elevated human beings, but our number one advocacy is for the planet and for the animals. So we did want to be just honest and real with them, and sometimes, you know, that wasn't the nicest, most pleasant thing to hear.
In other words, he's saying there's some drama coming, don't worry.
Right.
I was going to be hooked just because it's vegan, but now we have that element. We have that added element. You were speaking about being one of the judges. You have a very inclusive, diverse cast and crew. Tell us about the people making the magic happen in front of and behind the camera.
Everyone from the people on the set that you won't see to the people that you see on the camera. We have obviously myself, I'm a gay man. We also have people in the trans community that are represented. Both of our hosts of the show, we have Babette. She's just an incredibly beautiful, gonna be 72-year-old woman. When you see her, if her body alone doesn't make you want to go vegan, when you see what 72 can look like, I don't know what else will do it.
Exactly.
We also have Shabnam, who is another woman of color. She's the counterpart. She's kind of just letting everybody know what's going on throughout the episode. And then Babette's there kind of just to make sure all of our contestants are doing okay and breathing as the episode goes along.
Great.
And then I know that Star already mentioned we have Josie, and then we also have Dr. Miles, who is the CEO and founder of Sophie's Kitchen. We also have Elizabeth, who is the owner of the first vegan EFT on Wall Street, which is mind-blowing. So we have her, but then the people you don't see that are behind the camera, they're just so diverse, so cool, every walk of life. And the thing that I loved most about this set is hardly anybody knew each other. But the second we walked into the building and we started hugging and shaking hands, we were immediately family. And it's one of those things that you just take with you, and you just stay connected, and we're all texting constantly and coming to each other's houses if we live local, and making sure everybody's doing okay. And I think when everybody watches the show, they're going to be able to see that. There might be times that us judges don't necessarily agree, but we can talk about it, and it's all love, and it's going to definitely read when people watch it.
Let's watch a clip.
Welcome to Peeled, the all-vegan cooking competition show. 4 top vegan chefs endure 3 rounds of brutal challenges as their culinary limits are tested.
3, 2, 1.
Our panel of celebrity vegan judges don't hold back.
The bar is going to be extremely high for me.
Who will snatch the coveted title of hottest vegan chef? Find out this fall on Peeled.
So exciting. So, where will people be able to watch Peeled?
We're launching our show on Unchained, and Unchained TV, which can be watched on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple. And then, of course, it'll be on our YouTube channel, on our website, and we're going to launch all of it right about the same time as the premiere.
Amazing. Star and Chris, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
My pleasure. And we will keep our eyes peeled for the exciting premiere of Peeled. Did you spot Lucia's Vegan Lifestyle at an event you attended? Tag LVL in your photos and videos, and I'll give you a shout out. Watch Lucia's Vegan Lifestyle to live your best vegan life. Subscribe to the Lucia's Vegan Lifestyle YouTube channel to catch up on all episodes, and follow on social media for exclusives and to find out what's airing next. If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, please tap the subscribe button to help me keep this show going. And if you enjoyed this episode, like and share it, because it really does help support me making this show, which helps people go vegan and stay vegan. Tap on notifications to be the first to know when a new episode or content drops. Level up with LVL and live your best vegan life. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Lucia's Vegan Lifestyle, your show for compassionate living without sacrifice. I'm Lucia, I'm vegan, and this is my lifestyle.